गुड मॉर्निंग डैलस, गुड इवनिंग इन इंडिया और गुड मॉर्निंग लॉस एंजल्स बोलते हुए आप सबको आपका दोस्त आपका होस्ट राजीव कुलकर्णी का प्यार भरा नमस्कार। आज का दिन है मार्च 23, 2025, सवेरे का 10:30 यहाँ डैलस में, विच इज़ 8:30 इन लॉस एंजल्स एंड देन 9 PM इन इंडिया, हमारे भारत में। तो आप सबको स्वागत करता हुआ 2-3 हफ्ते से हमने लाइव प्रोग्राम नहीं किया क्योंकि हम भी थोड़ा सा बिजी थे पर्सनल काम में। तो आज फिर हम वापस आए हैं ये लाइव शो लेके। बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग गेस्ट है हमारे साथ, बहुत ही नौजवान यंग गेस्ट है। उनके बारे में थोड़ा सा आपको इंतज़ार करना पड़ेगा जानने के लिए, क्योंकि हर इतवार को ये कार्यक्रम शुरू होने के पहले हम भगवान को ज़रूर याद करके शुरू करते हैं, और आज भी उस भगवान को याद करके ये कार्यक्रम शुरू करेंगे। आइए।
गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि चतुराय गानप्राणाय गानान्तरात्मने गानोत्सुकाय गानमत्ताय गानोत्सुकमनसे गुरुपूजिताय गुरुदैवताय गुरुकुलस्थायिने गुरुविक्रमाय गुह्यप्रवराय गुरवे गुणगुरवे गुरुदैत्यगणक्षेत्रे गुरुधर्मसदाराध्याय गुरुपुत्र परिपात्रे गीतसाराय गीततत्त्वाय गीतगोत्राय धीमहि गूढगुल्पाय गन्धमत्ताय गोजयप्रदाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
गुड मॉर्निंग एंड वेलकम बैक टू भारत अन्वेषण कार्यक्रम 23 मार्च 2025। हाँ जी, ऑलरेडी मार्च के महीने अभी ख़त्म होने को आ रहा है, and I don't know how these 3 months passed. चलिए आज का कार्यक्रम शुरू करते हैं, लेकिन शुरू करने के पहले आप सबको बहुत 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 थैंक यू बोलना चाहता हूँ. बिकॉज ऑफ यू दिस चैनल इज, आई थिंक वी आर रनिंग दिस चैनल बिकॉज जितना आपका सपोर्ट रहता है उतना ही हमको भी अच्छा लगता है और हमारे गेस्ट को भी अच्छा लगता है. The more viewers, our guests are happy. The more subscribers, our guests are happy. क्योंकि सब्सक्राइबर्स ज़्यादा होने से व्यूअरशिप बढ़ता है, व्यूअरशिप ज़्यादा होने से हमारे गेस्ट भी हैप्पी होते हैं, हम भी हैप्पी रहते हैं. चलिए आज का ये कार्यक्रम शुरू होने के पहले थोड़ा सा हम एक छोटा सा इंट्रो करते हैं. लेकिन सबसे पहले तो जैसे कि आपको मैंने थैंक यू बोला, हमारे सपोर्टर्स को मैं थैंक यू बोलना चाहता हूँ. वैसे हमारे संदीप सदानंदप्पा जो हमेशा हमारा टेक्निकल सपोर्ट देते आए हैं, और आज थोड़ा सा वो किसी और काम से कहीं बाहर गए हैं, तो ये टेक्निकली हम अपने आप एडजस्ट भी कर रहे हैं और कार्यक्रम भी हम चला रहे हैं. थोड़ा सा अगर 19-20 हुआ तो माफ़ करना. चलिए आज का कार्यक्रम शुरू करेंगे, लेकिन एक दो चार बातें बोलना चाहता हूँ. Cinematography is the art and science of capturing motion pictures through camera and lighting techniques. It involves the creative and technical aspects of filmmaking, including camera angles, lighting, composition, and the movement. हाँ जी. और आज के गेस्ट के बारे में छोटा सा इंट्रो. मसाला चाय से लेकर अमेरिकानो कॉफ़ी और ऐसे ब्लेंड करते हुए अपना इंडियन रूट्स न भूलते हुए एक वाइब्रेंट कल्चर जहाँ पे लॉस एंजल्स बोलते हैं कैलिफोर्निया में, अपना काम ढूंढते हुए अपना काम बड़े आराम से कर रहे हैं. He was born in Mumbai. He was introduced to films at a very early age, developing an appreciation for both India's rich, diverse culture and its modern outlook. His frames captures the unique interplay between cultural heritage and contemporary vision that defines his artistic perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the young cinematographer from India but living in Los Angeles, Mr. Shaman Harsha. Shaman, good morning to you. Welcome back to Bharat Anveshan. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm pretty good. It's pretty nice here and I'm chilling.
Yeah,
How are you?
I see the chillness on your face for sure, and I know that it's too early for you to get up on a Sunday morning, and for the interview like this, and but I should thank you for that. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपको. And Shaman, before we get into more technicality, more detail about your work and so on and so forth, पहले आप हमको ये बताइए, originally where are you from and how long you are now living in the USA?
Um, I am from Karnataka,
Okay?
but I spent most of my life in Mumbai. I was raised in Mumbai, and I came here pretty recently, well, 7 years ago in 2018 in LA. I came
Wow.
here to study, and yeah, I've been working here ever since.
Wow. So you came to study what in LA?
Filmmaking.
Filmmaker.
When I first came here, I was confused between doing cinematography or directing. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to study filmmaking and it's going to teach me everything. Um, but eventually I leaned more into cinematography.
Okay. So when you said filmmaking, cinematography, these kind of beautiful, very fascinating and exotic words. Um, so at what age actually you started developing the interest in cinema or related to cinema world as such?
I think I always had it when I was a kid. I just didn't know that it is something that I can pursue as a career. Like I used to watch a lot of movies. I used to watch a lot of cartoons and even music videos. I would get up in the morning and watch VH1 or MTV. And I didn't know, like, I thought that it was the music that I liked, but slowly I realized that um in VH1 and MTV, music videos have these very creative freedom way of filming it, which I didn't know back then, but I think I always had that somewhere in the background. And it was sometime during 10th standard when my parents and we were in Singapore, and my dad, he was always into photography,
Mhm.
and he got a new lens, and it was a zoom lens,
Okay.
and um, I was fascinated by it. It was, I think, I don't know what was it about the lens, but once I looked through the camera, I was like, everything looks so great here. And I was like, I just want to look at everything through a camera. And slowly I leaned more into cinematography. So
Wow.
maybe around 10 standard, I guess it
Wow.
started.
Oh, that's pretty early age actually. And
Yeah,
because at that point of time, you are basically, you might have got fascinated with the equipment itself, right? And at that time, it's very difficult to really define that you want to make a career out of it, or you want to just play around with the toy that you have in your hand, or your dad has in his hand. So it's a pretty, I would say, confusing age at the same time to decide what you want to do, right? So,
yeah.
but why cinematography? Why not other field? I know that you mentioned that you wanted to either learn direction or the cinematography or something to do with the director of photography,
Yeah.
direction of photography. But why more lean onto the cinematography? What is that is so fascinating about it?
Um, I was always interested in tech, everything to do with technology, and I still
Technology.
am. I still read or watch more about technology than I read or watch about film news, and I'm very fascinated by it. And I remember when I was like, after graduating 10th, I wanted to get into robotics, and I was like, I want to pursue that.
Wow.
But very soon I realized that that was not my career. But it was, I think cinematography is like a perfect blend between creativity and tech, which is the camera, not just the camera, but also the lights.
The
And
lights, yeah.
it was, I felt like it's a good balance between what I actually like doing, the art and science just colliding together. And yeah, and photos was, I always liked photography, but it was just the still aspect of it, because photo is just one frame, but if you can show more stuff and add movements to the whole frame, and I think it's more fun and it's more dynamic.
Okay, I think that's a beautiful answer because uh, it's natural that you can get fascinated with the technology as well as um, the passion that you have, and when it gets blended together, it becomes a totally a different product by itself, and naturally that gets more and more attraction. Uh, and how was your feeling when you got the visa of USA that you are going to come here and study? What was your feeling?
It was great. Actually, USA was, I don't think I ever had that. Like, I knew I wanted to study filmmaking, but USA was not in my mind a
Okay.
lot. So I graduated from a film school in India from Whistling Woods,
Oh,
and but I studied business in films there, and but I was always surrounded by like filmmaking and film industry because it was inside film city in Goregaon. So that kept inspiring me to pursue this. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna study this properly. So I was looking at uh London mainly, or UK, but US happened very last minute. I found this cool New York Film Academy, and I was like, this is great. Everything is more hands-on, and you're getting to film from day one, and they're just giving you the camera, and it's not a lot of theory that they're doing. It's more practical, which I loved. So I was a little bit scared when I was doing the interview because there's this whole stigma about not everyone gets a visa.
Yeah.
But once I got it, it was nice, and I started telling people that I'm going, and even when I came here, it didn't feel, it felt very weird. Like I didn't feel like I was displaced. It felt like, okay, this is where I belong, kind of feeling. Very weird, but yeah.
वाह, दैट्स ब्यूटीफुल। जैसे कि दर्शकों को बताऊं, आजकल हाल ही में हॉलीवुड में बहुत सारे इंडियन जो ओरिजिन है, जैसे दे कैन बी फ्रॉम ओरिजिनली फ्रॉम इंडिया इटसेल्फ, और दे कैन बी जैसे उनके एंसेस्टर्स जैसे इंडिया में बिलोंग करते हैं, बट दे आर बॉर्न इन प्रॉब्ली इन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड और द ऑल्सो द यूएस। जैसे कुछ नाम बताना चाहता हूँ। आई मीन आवर फेमस प्रियंका चोपड़ा जी, देव पटेल, फ्रीडा पिंटो, जो मिलियन स्लम्स डॉग मिलियनेयर जिसमें एक्टिंग किया था, अजीज अंसारी, एंड लेट इरफान खान, हैना सिमोन, कैल पेन, निम्रत कौर, ये सारे जो है ना, और भी लिस्ट बहुत लंबा चौड़ा है, जो हॉलीवुड में आजकल बहुत ही ज़्यादा जो इंडियन ओरिजिन जो लोग हैं जो एक्टिंग में बहुत ही ज़्यादा आई वुड से एक्टिव है। एंड वी सी देम pretty much every day on the either on the big screen or on the small screen। जैसे टीवी शो में बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो इंडियन ओरिजिन जो लोग हैं। ऐसे ही हमारे शमन हर्षा जी भी डेफिनेटली सिनेमाटोग्राफी में अपना नाम कमाने जा रहे हैं लॉस एंजल्स में। उनके बारे में और बहुत सारे कुछ जानने को है अभी, लेकिन एक छोटा ब्रेक के बाद। लेट्स टेक दिस क्विक ब्रेक एंड देन विल कम बैक।
आके पेट से मरघट तक है तेरी कहानी, पक पक प्यारे अंगल अंगल सूरज गर्दिश में करते हैं तारे, अंगल 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 अंगल। आके पेट से मरघट तक है तेरी कहानी, पक पक प्यारे अंगल 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 अंगल। सूरज पे इसमें करते हैं तारे, अंगल 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 अंगल। धड़कने छाती है जब तुपक जाती है, पीठ थप थपा उनको फिर जगह बात बन जाती है। बावले हाथी सी हर चुनौती है रे, सामने खड़ी घूर के पड़ी आंख दिखलाती है, तो आंख से उसकी आंख मिला के फिर जाने का नाम है प्यारे, अंगल 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 अंगल। सूरज पे चढ़ता ढल गर्दिश में करते हैं तारे, अंगल 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 अंगल। मजबूत भरोसा अपने सपनों पे करना, जितने मुंह उतनी बातें, गौर कितनों पे करना। आज लोगों की बारी, जो कहें कह लेने दे, तेरा भी दिन आएगा, उस दिन हिसाब चुका के रहना। हर भेड़ की हाहाकार के बदले शेर की एक दहाड़ है प्यारे। दंगल 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 दंगल, सूरज तेरा चढ़ता ढलता गर्दिश में करते हैं तारे। दंगल 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 दंगल।
वेलकम बैक टू भारत अन्वेषण। आपका दोस्त, आपका होस्ट राजीव कुलकर्णी फिर एक बार आप सबको स्वागत करता हुआ। आज का दिन है मार्च 23, 2025। दंगल पिक्चर का ये गाना था बाय दिलेर मेहंदी साहब। एंड ऑफ कोर्स थोड़ा सा ऑडियो में कुछ ग्लिचेस थे लगता है, बट यू नो इट्स ओके, वी टुक ए स्मॉल ब्रेक। वेलकम बैक टू द शो शमन। एंड शमन जी जो है इधर आके अभी 8 years हुए हैं। 2007 you 17 you came, right?
18.
18
7 years.
So
Yeah.
7 years हुए हैं। So that was before COVID times.
It was before COVID.
Wow, that is a very of course you obviously you didn't know the COVID was going to come anyway. So but how was during that time, COVID time, what were you doing? Like everything was probably shut down, right?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting because I was in my fifth semester. I was still studying. I was still in school. And we had this big project from our school, like a thesis project, where we had to film our short film. And this was sometime during March of 2019. And I had everything. I had written the script. I had the actors locked down, the locations locked down. Everything was done, and we were 1 week away from the production, and the COVID hit, and we didn't know what was actually going to happen, or like we started hearing that countries are shutting down, and US was, I think, pretty much one of the last countries to completely shut down. But we didn't know what to do next. And I was like, I don't know, but it's still 1 week away. So I'm still gonna keep working on this film because I have to complete that film in order to graduate. And then I get a notice from school saying that, hey, we are pausing everything, and everything's gonna go online now. You don't have to film anything yet. We'll assess the situation on what's going on, and we'll do it. So that was pretty interesting. And then that whole 1 year, well, not the whole 1 year, but the first couple of months, it was honestly, in a way, I learned more because we didn't have anything to do. Like, we couldn't go out or anywhere, but my friends would like just come to my apartment, and then we would do our own thing. And eventually it started picking up, and I feel like I started getting more jobs during COVID. Um, and because not a lot of people wanted to do, and I was like, I'll do it. And we had to get tested every day. But it was an interesting time, and I had to take a semester break as well because I didn't want my last semester to be like an online semester. Because it's very weird to learn filmmaking through a screen.
Yeah.
So I took one semester break, and then I came back. COVID was still there, so I had to do it online. But luckily, that semester was not too much of physical activities.
Okay.
But yeah, it was pretty interesting. I made a lot of contacts though during that time, so that
During that
helped.
time, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So normally, like, how many years, the total course was, and what all you have to do in this particular period when you are studying?
It was a 2-year course.
Okay,
It was a um
more like a master's.
it was a master's, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I did MFA in filmmaking.
okay.
So yeah, it was a 2-year course. It was a 6 semester thing, and every semester you have to film a different aspect of filmmaking.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
which is why I came to this university, because it was so much more practical than theory. And I don't want to study, or I don't want to look at books again, because I spent so much of my life. I spent 20 years of my life looking at books. So I was like, I'm done with books. I want to hold the camera and just film. And yeah, we started with film, like 16 millimeters, and that was my first day on this university. They gave us a 16 millimeter camera, and they took us to Universal Studios backlot, and they were like, film something for 2 minutes, because it was a short reel, so we had to finish in that one reel, and there was no cuts that we could do. um so yeah, it was pretty interesting, because it was being filmed in the Universal lot. There were some uh like the studio tours were happening as well, and there would be people like all the tourists would be in the tram, and they would go past by us, and it's just bunch of us, like young filmmakers making movies, and then the Universal Studio guide would be like, "These are the future of cinema," and it felt great when they said it.
Yeah.
And everyone would start taking photos of us, and I was like, "Oh no, okay, it's happening." Um, but yeah, we did 16 millimeters, and then we eventually graduated to 35 millimeters, and I still love that camera and film, because it looked it was like, filming on film is a very different thing, and it's pretty scary as well, because
Hmm.
now that everything is digital, you know what you're filming, but when you're filming on film, you need to know what you're filming. You don't get to see what you filmed until it is developed, and they taught us how to, like, put the film inside the camera, which is like a whole another process, because you have to put your hands inside a little tent, and you can't see it because you can't expose the film to the light, so you just have to do it blindly
Wow.
and put it inside the reel, and then put it inside the camera. So that was also very interesting. And like, in my third semester, um we started filming digitally. And then yeah, it's pretty amazing, because I also got introduced to so many lights, but by the time I graduated, all those lights were, like, I think during that time the whole film industry was going through a transition where they were shifting from like incandescent light to LED lights.
Hmm.
So they started using a lot of LED lights now, but it was fun, honestly. I got to learn a lot. Before coming here, I was like, cinematography is only to deal with camera,
Yeah.
but I slowly realized that light is very important, and lighting is like 60% of what a cinematographer does.
So that's basically like a technology shift you had in the lighting area.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So,
lighting is also like very art, because you're
yeah.
literally painting the frame with lights.
Correct. 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 Absolutely true. Now also I can see the light on your face. Half is little darker and half is brighter. That's also the cinematography trick, I would say, which Shaman has posed
You gotta get the
himself today.
contrast.
Yeah, you got to have the contrast to have a nicer, catch, of the camera. But that's a smart way to do. So now there are, like, plenty of famous cinematographers in the Hollywood areas, right? in the
Yeah.
Hollywood industry. It's a. Have you ever, dreamt to work under some of the renowned cinematographers like Janusz Kaminski, who is, one
Um,
of the famous. Have you seen
so
the
good.
movie Saving the Private Ryan?
I have, yeah.
It's unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I took that name, because I I can never forget the cinematography in that particular movie. So what do
Yeah.
you think about that? To work under such renowned names, or and what is that special about his work? If you could explain it to our audience, maybe.
Um, it's I I wanted to work with like really great DPs. There's so many great DPs, and especially in LA, I feel like LA is a city where everyone's in film. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
Everyone's an actor, everyone's a cinematographer, everyone's a director, and there's so many great people to work with. I have not worked with anyone. I mean, I have, but not like super great. And I would love to, but at the same time, I don't wanna be under them for a long time because I and
Absolutely.
eventually want to venture out and do my own thing. Um, but speaking of Janice, I've not seen a lot of his work, but I know he works with Steven Spielberg a lot,
Yes, he
which is
does.
a very
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
privilege. But no, he's great. Even Hoyte van Hoytema,
Yeah.
I like him. I mean, there's so many. Roger Deakins.
Yes.
Uh, I mean, Deakins is great, and I feel like um for me, I really like silhouetting a character,
Okay.
and I feel like it's not always about facial expression of an actor, but also a whole body language. And I think when you silhouette someone, you just remove the facial expression from them and everything. Like your body tells a lot as well. And I feel like that helps a lot too. So I think I'm trying to pick from every great DP and just combine into mine and add some masala of my own.
Excellent. Beautiful. Because I think that is what one has to be, dreaming about. One has to be working towards their goal in the career. So let's have a quick look at one of your video that I could get hold of, and let's see the work of Mr. Shaman. Wow, that was awesome. I
Thank
would
you.
say, yeah, yeah. So, can you just explain something about this to our
Yeah,
people? Yeah.
it was a couple of my favorite shots from the movie that we filmed. It was 2 years ago. It's called Trinket Box. It's a horror film. Um, we shot it in Atlanta over the course of 3 weeks, and yeah, it was my first feature film that I DP'd, and then I did another one with the same guys, which is coming out next week or the next no, in April 4th, I think.
Wow,
Um, yeah, yeah.
congratulations. Yeah,
But yeah, this was Trinket Box. It's a horror film, and yeah, it did pretty well, I think,
yeah.
in theaters.
Excellent, excellent, Shaman. So now the coming back to our Indian cinematographers, right? Do you follow them, and whom do you like the best? I mean, of course, no offense to any other cinematographers, but just out of if you have to pick someone.
Um, I don't know if I can pick one, but I think Indian cinema is doing so well right now, especially with the advent of OTT platforms. I think everyone's getting more creative freedom, and a lot of low budget or independent films in India are focusing more on the importance of cinematography than like a blockbuster movie. And there's a lot of Jay Oza. I think he's really great. I like him. He did Gully Boy. He did a couple of episodes of Made in Heaven. I think Made in Heaven is like very well shot and well designed show. He also did Raman Raga, which is like a
Yeah,
gritty thing with I like Raman Raga too because I personally like filming handheld, and I think Raman Raghu is a lot of like just a lot of jerky camera and here and there and dark filming. It's really fun. And even Mitesh Mirchandani, he is doing great. He did Uri. He did he did
yeah,
one episode of Ghost Stories. I think it was the Karan Johar one.
yeah,
And he does a lot of ads, and a lot of ads in India are now being filmed very beautifully. They're like lit very beautiful. They have this grand, beautiful production design, and it's really nice. And even there was this DP who got, oh yeah, Santosh Siwan. He got an award recently, like a lifetime achievement award at ASC over here. So
wow.
yeah, they're doing great. So these three guys, I guess,
Yeah,
are
I agree
awesome.
with you because of the OTT, exploration on the recent days, especially after COVID, I would say that the Indian directors or Indian director of photographers, all these people have become very, very creative and also the digitalization, right? So
Yeah,
that is also making, and the technology is making people to become more creative and make it more effective, I would say,
yeah.
in terms
Because
of
I feel like in film, if you want to experiment something, you don't know, like you always have a limited amount of reels that you can try, and you don't know how much or like if it's gonna work or not. But in video, it's always like even now when I film, it's like I want to do the shot. I don't know how it's gonna look. It might look interesting. It might look like not nice.
yeah,
But let's just try it. And I feel like you couldn't do that in film. You couldn't just go and be like, let's just try it, because you would be wasting reels were very expensive, and you would be wasting time too. And now it's very quick with LED lights and digital cameras. It's really quick. And I think that has given more freedom for everyone to experiment with new lighting and camera angles.
wow. So how long, normally cinematography, as you mentioned, it can be a week or 2 weeks, depending on the shooting, the scenes are involved. So
Mhm.
normally, how long you have to work or you need to work after the shooting is done on that particular day? Let's say you do the shooting today, then do you have to get back to the hotel or the room or whatever the accommodation, and you still have to carry on your work, or how does it work normally?
Sometimes, not often.
Okay.
It's usually the sucky part about it is you have to film for 12 hours, and that's like a very normal thing. If we get done in like 10-hour day or 11-hour day, we are like, oh, we got done early.
Oh,
Um,
really? Wow.
yeah, yeah, it's 12 hours, 5 days a week, or sometimes 6 days a week. Which gets a lot, especially if you're not travel like if you're not filming in LA, and if you're filming outside, then it gets a lot. But at the same time, especially when you're outside, everyone's living in the same hotel, and everyone becomes like a family, and you start making new friends, and you get to hang out together. But coming back to your question, how long after the filming day is done? It's not a lot. Usually it's maybe like an hour. You just have to sit and plan on um what's gonna happen next day, because it this is a running joke in this industry that nothing is done what you plan. Like everything's gonna fall apart when you start doing. And like we would have a plan that okay, we're gonna film 3 pages, or well, not three, but we're gonna film 5 pages in today, but we end up filming 3 pages, and everyone's like, "Oh no, we're running way behind, and we have to uh film more stuff tomorrow," which is not gonna happen. But yeah, we just have to. I think it's 12 hours plus maybe 1 hour to plan. You said with the producers, the directors, to plan what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, maybe 13 hours a day.
Jeez. So normally, like, what kind of challenges you face, during the shooting time?
Um, if not in LA, weather, weather is a
It's
big,
definitely, yeah.
yeah, because if you're filming exteriors, luckily in LA it's always or mostly sunny, which really helps. But if it's not, then like I remember the last film I was filming, I think in no November, we were filming in Atlanta, and it was the last day of our shoot, and it was a horror film, and this one of our actor, he is dressed as a creature, like a superhero creature kind of
Yeah.
thingy, and he spent 4 hours in the makeup chair, and we are all set up. Like the stunt guys have rigged cables from one tree to another tree, and we are rehearsing because he was gonna punch one actor, and the actor was gonna fly. So the stuntman had everything rigged up, and we just had to get the creature onto the forest set. And he walks into the set, and then it starts drizzling, and we were
Oh,
like, oh no, because the makeup's gonna go away with
yeah.
water. And
Yeah.
then the director comes to me, and he's like, do you think we can still film? And I was like, and I asked my gaffer, the person who's doing the lighting. I was like, how many of our lights are waterproof? And he goes like, only two. I was like, okay. So I was like, I told the director that, okay, if it's drizzling, then we can do it. But if it gets more, then I mean, we can't. And even the makeup person was like, well, yeah, we can't anyway because
Yeah. The
the color's gonna go away. So yeah, as soon as I said it, within 5 minutes, it just started downpouring, and it was very difficult. Like we had to rush the actor back, but we had to rush all our because we were in the middle of the forest, and our
right.
base camp was like maybe 10 minutes away, and we had to walk into the middle of the forest. And it started downpouring, and everyone was like, "Oh no, we have to save the camera and everything." So I had my jacket on. So I put my jacket on the camera, everyone's drenched, and somehow the key grip gets the truck back to the back we were. We put everything. I have this video. It's very it's very funny, but everyone's just running around trying to save equipments because everything in film is so expensive for no reason, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we throw everything in the truck and we just run. But yeah, I guess weather would be one of the main problems, but also people. Sometimes the producers want one thing, then the director wants one thing. There's always a creative clash
Clash.
about what they
Yeah.
really want. And then I'm just here confused on I don't know who to listen to. Um, so that would be another one.
Okay, interesting. So, of course, cinematography is not a very easy line of easy field, I would say. But still, I would like to ask, how competitive is this field? Is it easy to study this particular course and become a cinematographer? What are your thoughts on that?
It is it is easy if you like it, I think.
Okay.
Just like every other subject. Like I remember because I I was okay in school and college, but once I came here, I was doing so great. All my marks were so high. I was like, this is awesome. So I think if you really like what you're doing, then everything's easy. Um, but um, it's yeah, it's just that it's pretty competitive here, and I think even in India because in the past couple of years, um, the crew side of filmmaking has started picking up.
Hmm.
Before that, it was mainly actors and directors that everyone wanted to be, but now there's wardrobe stylists that a lot of people want to do. There's production design, which is very important. A lot of people want to do cinematography. So the crew side has started picking up, and if you are in a city like Mumbai and LA, um, there's a lot of people who can do what you could do.
Yeah,
But you just need to have your own flair that's gonna help you stand out.
sure.
And yeah, it is competitive. Not as competitive as acting though. Acting is way too much.
Yeah, it is because, as I mentioned, there are so many Indian actors already in the Hollywood
Yeah.
itself, right? So, I mean, they are pouring in like anything. And so, definitely, the acting takes a much, I think, higher place in terms of competitiveness than I think cinematography because this is a very specialized field. I feel that, and of course, as you also mentioned, if you like what you're doing, definitely you can excel. But at the same time, you need to have that particular skills, as well. And because cinematography is basically you are trying to look through the lenses and
Yeah.
take the picture shot in order to make the other people like us, the audience, feel much better, right? Because I mean, your thought process are totally different. And yeah, I mean, you must be thinking totally different, while taking a horror shot or while taking a romantic shot or so and so forth. So I think it lies in your mindset too that what kind of shot you're taking and how you take it. I think that gets projected through the big screen to the audience like us, and that's how we love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fantastic. I think I like this line of field that you're working, Shaman, and so I know you said that you would like to work under famous cinematographers, but eventually you want to establish your own brand. Uh, if I understood that correctly, right? So
Yeah.
okay, okay, great, great, great. So now coming to the very basic question. So when you picked up this particular field, how
Uh-huh.
was your parents' reaction? Because I know the Indian parents' mindset is totally different. So, So what did they think about you getting into this field?
No, they were very accepting of my choice. It was, I think it's, if I think about it, my field is like a amalgamation of what they do, because my dad is a software engineer, which is like the tech side, and he's also very much into photography and art. And my mom, she really likes creating stuff, and she's very much into DIY, and she would paint
Oh,
stuff, and there's so many stuff. Even this thing over
yeah.
here, she made it.
Okay.
So she likes making stuff. And I think, as I said before, like cinematography is like a combination of technology and art that comes together. And I think it's just both my parents' passion that came together, and I'm doing cinematography. But yeah, no, they are very excited about it. They'll find every chance to talk to a stranger about what I do. And they tell everyone about this. Even when I told them about this, they have put it on all group chats and everything, and the whole family group chat. So yeah, they're pretty excited of what I do.
Okay, excellent, excellent. I mean, that's a very, very big plus point because the family support is a must in terms of, the career and
Yeah, yeah,
I would say it gives a big moral boost and very positive push to any child. He or she would like to get into any kind of field. They are liking it, right? So I think that's a very beautiful answer and beautiful feedback. So, Shaman, we are almost 4 minutes shy of today's show, and I have no clue that how this time 1 hour went. You
yeah.
know,
Too bad.
man. Oh, I mean, I would just go on and go on and go on talking because I'm a movie buff guy. And I know your dad is also. And so, what are your plans for the future now?
Um, a lot. There's a lot of things I want to do, not just in cinematography, but in other fields too. Um, but I think something I really want to do is film a nature documentary. I would be very happy if I could film, if I could go to a BBC and film a planet Earth or something. I also really want to get into underwater cinematography. So I'm
Wow.
trying to go and get a scuba diving lesson so I can do that. Um, but yeah, eventually I want to start filming for my own uh like I don't want, there are some times when I'll be like, this is an amazing shot and I want to do it, but then the director would be like, oh, we don't have time. Like, but so I just want to do something for my own where I can just film whatever I want.
Sure.
And I also like directing, so maybe I want to make a film. Maybe I want to co-direct with someone, and
Wow.
but DP as well. So I want to direct and DP at the same time, which is not a good decision, I guess, but that is something I want to do.
Wow, wonderful. Because those are very fantastic plans, I will say, and you need to have lot of plans, lot of I think goals definitely, and then you will definitely reach at certain level that you can call that yourself that you have done something great for
Yeah,
yourself. And one of them is, as you rightly said, director of photography, and also you want to do the direction and work with the Discovery Channel kind of people or BBC for that matter to do the planet Earth and or the scuba diving, learning scuba
yeah,
diving to do the underwater filming. That's also very interesting a field I find that, and of course it needs a lot of courage to go underneath and learn first of all
yeah.
scuba
Oh,
dive,
especially
scuba.
with expensive equipments.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have all those, protection for the equipments and then try to take the picture by the time, I don't know. I mean, I'm just visualizing all those things and it is definitely a challenging and but I think it looks like with your nature and with your kind of enthusiasm towards the direction, whether it can be photography or whether it can be just a direction or combination of these two, I think it is doable. It looks like you and it seems that you are determined to do that. And yeah, definitely when I'm in LA area, I would like to meet with you in person.
Oh yeah, let me know.
Yeah. It would be at least now I can relate that, hey Shaman, I met Shaman, the young cinematographer from India. And I can boast myself that hey, my friend's son, and here he is, and in the Hollywood. It is a privilege. It is an honor actually to meet
All mine.
talent like you, and so definitely will take. I keep coming to LA area, and so next time definitely I would like to pay a visit, and who
Yes, sir.
knows, maybe we can meet Spielberg. You never
Yeah,
know.
we'll go to his set.
Yeah, so well, that is it. And दर्शकों को बताऊं, मिस्टर शमन हर्षा जी जो है मुंबई से आए हैं, but he has been living in the United States for the last 7 years now. 2018 he came, pursuing his master's degree in filmmaking, and then he slowly got inclined towards cinematography, and which actually generated a lot of interest in him. And he stuck with the idea of doing the cinematography to the Hollywood movies, and also he has already ventured into 2 or 3 movies. अभी एक और हाल ही में रिलीज होने वाला है अगले महीने अप्रैल में. And plus they also keep doing lot of ads होते हैं और commercials होते हैं. So he's quite a young man, but at the same time he's getting busier and busier as the day is coming, as he is getting more and more exposure. So ये जो चैनल जो हमने इंटरव्यू लिया है, आप जो भी आप देख रहे हैं, प्लीज़ डू शेयर विद योर फ्रेंड्स एंड कोलीग्स सो दैट इट कैन गेट मोर एंड मोर likings and more knowing about Shaman's job, Shaman's work towards cinematography. जैसे कि हम जानते हैं कि भाई इंडिया से आजकल काफ़ी लोग जो एक्टिंग में जो है हॉलीवुड में आ रहे हैं, but why not in cinematography, why not in direction, why not in some other technology based thing in the film industry, right? So it is our duty to support the young generation of from our country, that is Bharat, and that is all about Bharat Anveshan. आज का अन्वेषण हमारा रहा मिस्टर शमन हर्षा, and we wish him all the best from Bharat Anveshan. Shaman, wishing you all the best, all the success.
Thank you, sir.
And to go to the greater heights, and when you become a huge cinematographer, don't forget me, okay?
I would not.
So
We'll do another one of these.
yes, at that time, yes, we will do that. Probably maybe next year, you must have reached certain great height, and we wish you all the best, Shaman, and take care of yourself, and keep doing this shooting, and keep us posted what you did, what if you want to share the picture, and so we'll be very happy to share among our friends and families. With that said, एक और भारत अन्वेषण का एपिसोड आज इधर ही समाप्त करूंगा. आपका दोस्त, आपका होस्ट राजीव कुलकर्णी को आज्ञा दीजिए. अगला हफ्ता एक और इंटरेस्टिंग पर्सनालिटी को लेके आ रहा हूं. प्लीज़ स्टे ट्यून्ड विद अस. जब तक और तब तक अपने आप को तंदुरुस्त रखिए और हेल्दी रखिए और हंसते रहिए, क्योंकि ज़िंदगी 4 दिन का है. विद दैट सेड, आपका दोस्त, आपका होस्ट आगे लेता हूँ. नमस्कार. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you.